Alright, you're in the end.
Hey everyone, back for round 5 of the Vancouver, British Columbia Provincial Championship. My name is Kenny Wisdom, joined by Amelia Botmiller, and we're here watching Liam Williams.
Not Seismitoad.
Yeah, no Seismitoad EXs. The Yveltal deck could have some copies, I don't know, but the main focus of these decks is not Seismitoad EX. We have Ryo Matsubayashi on your left and Liam Williams on your right. Looks like Ryo is playing Yveltal. He described the deck to me as just Yveltal, so I assume that it's a pretty standard version. Liam is playing the Flareon Empol deck.
Beauty.
Liam has a few minor accolades under his belt. He was the first seed going into the top 16 of the World 2012 in the senior division. So, and in the Masters, he has. I think he has a top. He's been a master for 2 years, and he has a top 8 and a top 4 of regionals and states under his belt.
Yeah, he's only ever played kind of every once in a while. So.
Back when he was a senior, he was more competitive.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Once he got into Masters.
Yeah.
Kind of later seniors even.
Yeah, since moving to Masters, he's kind of been an on-again, off-again player. I think he's trying to make a real shot for the invite this year. He did attend Worlds last year to try and grind in, so he is serious. He's been there before, but both these players haven't had the best accomplishments in Masters.
Yeah, so, seeing Ryo check out Ditto, I guess.
Yeah, Ditto's not a
Probably asking about the evolution stuff.
Yeah, Ditto's not exactly a popular card.
Yeah.
We also saw that Liam discarded a training center on turn 1. That Ryo, I'm not sure if I pronounced his name, had to read. That card says each stage 1 and stage 2 Pokemon in play gets plus 30 HP. So it's kind of a buff to Liam's guys. And we see no energy.
Yeah, and only laser. Oh, Liam still ends. I guess his hand was also bad.
Yeah, I didn't quite get to see what it was, but I have to imagine. I have to imagine that he's ending there wasn't anything worth it. Man, I remember when Ditto was first spoiled, I thought it was a 4 of in every deck. I remember having a late night conversation with Tyler Nomura. He was staying at my house one day, and we were just talking about how like every deck had to have 4 of them, and it was so good, and should pre-order them, buy foils.
Not quite.
We were a little off the mark, I'll admit. Dropping an Eevee. And a town map.
Not too consequential prizes, but it'll be nice to grab that trump card or double colorless when he needs it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like those are the main ones.
And Liam is playing Vaporeon instead of Glaceon. He explained this to us in the car, where you can negate 2 focus sashes instead of just the 1, and it's more efficient against Landers than the Glaceon. So
he's also playing Flareon and Leafeon, which is pretty standard. I don't know any of his counts though.
And Vaporeon's second attack can one-shot a Landers with, you know, Silver Bangle and all that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think there's too much Landorus in the field.
Yeah.
And if there was any, it probably got beaten down by the Toads pretty early.
I believe he did mention that he was playing 3 Leafeon, which is obviously really good for today, since there's so many Toad.
Absolutely.
So, Ryo still has nothing.
Yeah, he just has the energy to Oblivion Wing, but doesn't bring back any energy or anything, just dealing a straight 30. Liam's going to go ahead and battle Compressor.
Probably some Empoleons and, you know, whatever else for Flareon fodder.
Yeah, I have to imagine that he will... It's like Empoleon and 2 Leafeons, so... He's going to go ahead and propagate. So he wants Pokemon in the discard pile, both for Flareon's attack. Then obviously he plays Lightninger's trump card. And he also plays a copy of Archie's to get back the Empoleon that's actually
Looks
going
like
to
he's going for the Archie's here. He grabs it.
Yep, he has one.
Jirachi.
He has, yeah. So he Ultra Ball's for Jirachi there. Jirachi's to grab the Archies, and then he has one other card in his hand. Which is Leafeon. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and buy back that Empoleon and draw sweet, sweet 5 cards. It's no Quad Groudon, but it gets the job done.
This deck is just so cool.
I agree.
It's really fun to see cards like Archies and Maxies in the format.
I agree.
I always different than what we normally get.
I agree. I always thought the Evolutions decks were cool even back, a couple last year or whatever when Puka was playing them, just because they're so different from the decks we see now, and they do prove that like small Pokemon who just are efficient and synergistic can get the job done when they need to.
Yep. He's gonna propagate with a different egg than diving draw.
And Liam can start getting ahead here. It looks like, has he attached an energy? Yeah, he attached to the Leafeon, did he?
Yes.
You can propagate twice and then Ultra Ball for free.
So grabs a Vaporeon.
Is there a relevant Jolteon?
Not as far as I know.
Is that card competitive? There's the one where you can discard an energy and it does 60, but I think all the other attacks cost a lot more.
I suppose with a
there's the plasma. The plasma one does 40, and then if it's if the defending Pokemon's an EX, it can attack next turn. But I don't think there's any one that for a small amount of energy can get knockouts.
Yeah, you need a Bangle on the discard. Plus, it has to be a lightning energy.
Yeah. It'd be interesting though if they pushed Jolteon a little bit more, and then we saw this like maybe just like 4 Ditto, 4 Eevee, all the different evolutions depending on the metagame. Which is sort of what this deck is, a little bit less of a theme deck though.
Interesting that he doesn't seem to be too worried about Flareon here. He's kind of gonna chip away with Muddy Water. I believe he has... Oh no, that's just the Ditto. No tool attached.
Yeah, just a Ditto under that guy. Doing 20 to the active and then 20 to that Yveltal EX on the bench.
Yep.
So, Liam's deck, kind of a slower plotting deck. He did get an Empoleon out on turn 1, but not exactly super aggressive in these moments, but...
He doesn't need to be if Rio
just
doesn't draw anything.
Agreed. Well, we have a little flying dice, and the laser gets a tails. That Vaporeon sitting with 110 HP will not be knocked out. Unless something crazy happens. Such as a Verbank City is dropped. There's resolving an end now. Rio choosing to play the league promo ends. Not my favorite end, but not my least favorite.
It's got a little bit going now. I do think Yveltal will probably be pretty hard for Liam to deal with.
Yeah, it seems like... I don't know. I will be the first to admit that I'm not super well versed in this Flareon deck, but it does seem like if any kind of big, powerful attacker can get out early consistently, it might be trouble from to deal with. Especially one that's not weak to one of the evolutions, I guess.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get a third energy onto the Yveltal EX this turn, while also doing damage. So it's a good spot for Rio to be in.
Definitely.
like he's deciding on something.
Yeah, I think
His
he's,
Ultra Ball target still.
yeah, gonna take a look through Liam's discard before deciding what Pokemon to get with Ultra Ball.
Should I get Yveltal or Darkrai? Still going.
I don't know the contents of his deck, but I assume that you just take a Darkrai here if you have it. I don't think it loses to any of the Pokemon in Liam's deck, and you already have 2 Yveltals on board, and so if you're just doing this to thin out your deck, grab a guy, you might as well take a Darkrai.
Jirachi.
Yeah.
Alright.
I was just going to say Jirachi's the other consideration he's making, is whether he wants another attacker or just ability to get a supporter. All depending on his hand, of course. Takes a Juniper.
And Darkrai actually seems like a really efficient attacker in this matchup. So maybe he'll end up going for that at some point in this match.
Yeah, being able to Night Spear for almost knockout and then putting another almost knockout on the bench in a lot of situations with these small HP Pokemon. I guess the Mr. Mime is going to put a halt to that.
And I don't know, Night Spear can just kind of run through things with a Muscle Band especially. KO's pretty much everything in Liam's deck.
Liam does have the training centers, which are going to make it a little bit tougher. Turn a lot of Night Spears into... I guess there'll still be 2 shots the majority of the time. Assuming that Rio has a Muscle Band. There's an Ultra Ball propagating twice. Man, I just played a computer search and an Ultra Ball for free.
Pretty nice.
Living the dream.
So he'll go for another Eevee, give him an out to the Flareon.
As I was telling this table that they were going to be featured, Liam did express concern about the matchup. He said that he was going to get destroyed. So and Liam also told me in the car on the way here that he's played 300 games of Flareon. So I assume he knows what he's talking about. I have to assume it's just kind of what we thought earlier. Just if you have these giant basics that can one-shot things over and over again that aren't weak to them, that you can run over them. But I'm not sure. Rio also seems to have an unfamiliarity with Liam's deck. He's read Empoleon. He's read multiple cards.
He's playing a little slow.
Yeah, playing slow, like clearly thinking about his actions. So it's possible that, you know, one of the factors that makes kind of rogue, or I wouldn't call this deck rogue, maybe a little bit more unexpected decks good, is that your opponent sometimes doesn't know about them, doesn't know how to play against them, you know.
See a DC into the Eevee, so it's pretty much got the Flareon ready to go.
Has a Bengal on it as well.
Yeah. If Rio can drag that up this turn, I think I would go ahead and do that. It puts Liam back on the Muddy Water plan, or Energy Crush. But Flareon's definitely going to do the most damage of any attacker in his deck. And obviously the saving grace is that all of Liam's Pokemon only give up 1 prize.
Yep.
And it's very easy to attack with any of them since they all take one energy. Even Flareon takes, you know, quote-unquote 1 energy.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of the real advantage these cards have, is that even though they may not be as outright powerful, they're also trading favorably.
Yep. Empoleon in particular is actually fairly difficult for Rio to knock out, and does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah. I mean, especially with a training center in play, Empoleon starts to reach toward EX HP. And there's a Colress for 9 from Rio. Gonna draw a bunch of cards here. Unfortunately, he is dropping a lot of Pokemon on his bench for Empoleon. It might not matter all that much because Empoleon's gonna be two-shotting no matter what. But there are probably plays where he could maybe force it not to be a two-shot, but so after drawing 9 cards,
still contemplating what to do. I have to imagine he'll just attack with Baby Yveltal here.
I mean, I think you might as well. As long as you have the Darkness Energy in the discard pile, you're both putting a little bit of damage on, not risking your big attackers, and promoting your board state, so.
Yep. Just waiting for the attack to be announced. Yep, there it is.
There we go. Choosing to power up that second Yveltal. The one that you can see second from the left has a DCE, a Darkness, and a Muscle Band attached with 20 damage on it, so I guess Rio's deciding to kind of diversify his threats a little bit. That Yveltal with the Muscle Band is currently doing 100 base, so should, with the energy, considering the energy attached to Liam's Pokemon, should be enough to one-shot most things. Like, it's just trying to diversify.
Yep, and that Baby Yveltal is actually a big, huge pain for Liam. It has a ton of HP, and doesn't trigger Silver Bangle.
And there's a Lysander.
It's nice. I'm not sure how many Pokemon are in his discard pile.
Yeah, in the future, if we stream Flareon again, we'll have a counter. So we'll have some dice on the table that indicate that. So we've traditionally done with Night March in the past. Looks like 10?
Yeah. Well, he had enough knockouts.
It's going to be a knockout.
Yeah. 10 would be just right then, after the Bangle. So that's really nice for Liam. Takes out that threatening Yveltal with the energy and Muscle Band. And unfortunately, this Yveltal will be able to return KO. But
does he have the
as long as he
energy
is,
for
yeah,
it? If he needs well, he would need 2 energy, or he'd need a DCE, right? Oh no, you're sorry.
No.
It's 110.
Yeah.
And I mean, this kind of is how Liam expects things to work. He just took the Lysander's trump card off his prizes, so I imagine that Rio will take the knockout here. They'll be tied in prizes. Liam will reset the board and get things going. Additionally, Rio attaching that DCE. I wonder how many Flareons Liam plays. I never got his counts from him. That seems important. He's sending up that blank EV.
There's another one.
You're just playing it all.
Just slamming all the cards.
Boom.
Wow, nice.
And this might be a knockout that Rio actually has difficulty
Yeah, this would be really
returning.
Really nice here. I believe he only needs 20 more damage. Could definitely be wrong.
Well, he should have 10 last time.
Yeah, so he should have 12. Plus the Bangle.
So it's currently doing 160?
150.
Oh, sorry, no. So he does...
well, he got the KO.
Yeah, sorry. So he's doing 20 plus 10 for each.
Yeah.
So if he has 12, that's 120, 140.
Yeah.
Bengals is plus 30.
Yeah. Math is hard. So that's actually really impressive. Liam being able to KO 2 Yveltal EX in a row.
And like it's pretty casual too, you know.
Yeah.
He obviously the deck is built to do that, but it's not as if Liam is, you know, this is turn 15 of the game and Liam's struggling. Like he did it twice in a row, just doing what his deck's designed to do. Looks like Rio's blowing out his
interested to know how
discard.
many Bengals he plays. Probably 3, I'd have to assume.
Probably. I imagine that number of, I imagine having 12 Pokemon. Again, I'm not sure, I'm not well versed in this deck, but I imagine 12 Pokemon is approaching the maximum you have, or at least up there, so the Bengal seems appropriate. And Muscle Band just seems almost strictly worse in a lot of ways. And we see the Garbodor, no tool yet, but that will turn off Propagation, Stellar Guidance, and Diving Draw, as well as Mr. Mime's ability. So we'll turn off a lot of things, but none of them super relevant. None of them really backbreaking for Liam. I've been told that Liam plays 2 Silver Bengals. This will be his last one, not counting for Lysander's trump card.
So Rio's probably hoping to be able to attack with the Seismitoad this turn. It's going to require quite a bit. We'll see what he has here.
The Seismitoad would need a Muscle Band to knock out the Flareon as well.
Yeah. You just have to be able to get that Yveltal out of the active spot and have double colorless Muscle Band. It's probably asking for a lot.
And if he doesn't do anything here, Liam just needs a Lysander to win the game.
Yep.
That Jirachi is actually kind of a threat. Like if I could definitely, not a threat, sorry, it's kind of a liability.
Yeah.
I could definitely see a situation, not in this game necessarily, but one where Lysander's trump card happens, or even Liam just kind of stumbles, but then can get 3 Pokemon in his discard pile and be able, with a Flareon active, and be able to knock it out.
It's Empol food too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So Rio seems to be a little stuck here. He's looked through his discard pile a few times, doesn't seem to know what to do. Plays an N. See what happens, but I think that Empoleon's kind of going to be the nail in the coffin, even if the Flareon can be dealt with.
Yeah, it means there's so many hurdles to go over. He has to deal with this Flareon and then deal with the Empoleon. We actually have Liam's list in front of us now. Seems about what we expect. He does play 2 Empoleon as well as a 1/1 Slurpuff line. 4 Flareon, 3 Leafeon, 1 Vaporeon. Big thanks to Grant McClellan, good friend of all of us at the show, for sending us Liam's list. Definitely help us call these matches a little bit better. And I think you can definitely tell Rio is unfamiliar with this deck at least.
Yeah.
He might. I don't recognize the name, so he may be kind of a newer player or a more low-key player. But either way, it seems like he has to read a lot of cards, and he's taking quite a bit of time, which is not great for him. But it is one of the advantages that we talked about. And there's the double colorless on the Seismitoad.
Oh, there's a fox going on there.
And does Liam have it? 3 cards in hand.
Diving draw online.
He can't drive and draw.
Oh, yeah,
the
Garbodor's up,
yeah,
yeah.
so he's just going to go ahead and attack. Just need 10 more points of damage to get the job done.
Of course, he can't leave the Toad active to attack with, which will give Liam trainers again.
I mean, he might just be stuck here. Like, I think all of these Pokemon will get knocked out to... that's not true. Sorry. He has... Rio definitely has options.
Yeah.
There's an escape rope. Liam wisely choosing to sacrifice the Mr. Mime. Although every turn that Rio doesn't deal with this Flareon is another that a Lysander off the top is all Liam needs.
Yep.
And Liam's actually looking through his discard pile, so he may just have a Versus Seeker in hand or something, but there's an N.
And at this point, Rio has to deal with the Leafeon as well. So. And obviously the Empoleon.
There's 2 cards. Liam doing a pretty good job of protecting them. Couldn't see what they were.
And he just uses Oblivion Wing.
And there's a Versus Seeker for the Lysander.
Yep.
And we'll free retreat into the Flareon, knock out the Jirachi, and win game 1. So that interesting game. It didn't really feel like Rio was ever really in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Liam was dominating the entire time, but it always just seemed like Rio wasn't doing much, and whatever Liam was doing was just slightly better. Also important to note that both of these players are likely playing for their tournament lives. I think you're going to need to go 5-1-1. And so a loss here basically knocks you out of contention. There could be something wonky that happens, but even then, being 2-2-1 isn't exactly a great spot to be in.
I definitely didn't expect Liam to be able to deal with the Yveltal EXs so well.
Yeah, the Flareon's just a beating. I guess I just didn't consider how big that gets with Battle Compressor.
Yeah, he was able to get the Silver Bangle when he needed it, along with the DC and Flareon, of course.
Definitely. As always, on the Bubble is brought to you by Top Cut Central. Go to topcutcentral.com and use the promo code BUBBLE for 10% off your order. Top Cut Central has everything you'd ever want: multiple games, board game, Pokemon singles, and sealed product. If you need to buy some Flareon, some Silver Bangles, you should order them now. Get 10% off with the coupon code BUBBLE at topcutcentral.com.
Buy packs.
Buy packs, please. Do you think you would have played this deck if you were playing in the tournament?
Absolutely. I'm in love with this deck.
You seem like you liked it from the...
It's really refreshing. I just like decks that do different things, so. And it's consistent. That's a...
Yeah, things like I mean, this deck was always, you know, good, fine, but I think Battle Compressor having the Archies just kind of has given it that extra push it needs.
Yep. I've always really loved Empoleon, so whenever it makes pops its head up, I'm on board.
You played the Empoleon deck at NorCal Regionals in 2013.
Yep. Just barely missed the cut at that one.
In a field of Electrics and Hydreigons.
Yep.
Oh, if Rio has the Laser Verbank here, this could be game. This is one of the downsides.
Oh man.
I imagine if he had it, he would have slammed it, but I mean, maybe he's gonna slow roll it. Right, there's an Ultra Ball.
Show us your hand.
How sick would it have been if he was just going for Spirit of the Game and just Ultra Balls away Laser Verbank? Dark Energy and a Colress. Probably getting a non-EX Yveltal, I guess. Or he could just go for the actual Yveltal. He won't be attacking until at least next turn anyways. Oh, I have to go for the Jirachi to go supporter. It could happen, folks.
Unknown Q, flashback.
We could see our second... Oh
man.
We could see our second donk on stream. They said you couldn't donk in this format.
And they printed Zubat. And eggs. Slow roll, slow roll.
There's a Juniper. Alright, let's make this happen.
I want him to just flip him over onto the table.
I know, right? Here we go, folks.
He's gonna live another day.
Oh, looks like he is. God, wouldn't it be so sick if we just played like the Verbank onto his bench and like it was a Pokemon, just like split it up? Yeah, it looks like Liam will get another turn after the sweat. Alright. We're going to see a real game, assuming that Liam has cards. Going to start off with an Acrobike. Discarding a Lysander, taking a Jirachi, Stellar Guidance. I know I had a Flareon in hand, and I think I saw a DCE, which may disincentivize him from taking a Juniper, but couldn't see the rest of the contents. Alright, it's going to go ahead and take the end. Posted on Jirachi is an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't care too much about the eggs dying.
Oh yeah, he definitely wants the eggs to get knocked out, if anything. Like, starting with them is just terrible.
It's probably just, he's got to be desperate to draw the correct basics here.
Yeah.
Especially with the Seismitoad on board. You may as well just put the Floatstone down.
Yeah, definitely. I think what he's expecting is just that he knows for sure that egg will get knocked out from the poison. He just wants a way to retreat it. There's the Arduino going to reset it. Right. I take back what I said. Battle Compressor. Two Empoleons and another Execute. Propagates, Ultra Balls, the Egg, and the Leafeon. We first saw, let's see, where did we first see Execute? I guess just in the actual Empoleon decks.
Yeah.
And then we saw it in Blastoise for a little while.
Yeah,
Gives
just as
you
a one of.
Superior Energy Retrieval discard. I'm gonna go ahead, drop an EV, attach a grass, and ship the turn back to Rio.
Rio continuing to play kind of slowly, contemplating his options.
Yeah, definitely going to need to start thinking about that, especially as he seems to have kind of a slow start. Liam's already won game 1. Time I don't think is a huge factor right now, but you know, definitely wants to finish this game.
Yeah, they won't have time to finish the game 3 at this rate. I think it was about the same amount of time as game 1.
Yeah. And like I said, according to the math that I've done, I think that a draw is as good as a loss here. So a draw would just kind of be extra brutal as it would knock both of them out. And I know that Liam's pretty low on championship points. I don't know about Rio, but I assume he is. I don't know. I'm not familiar with him, so I assume that he's not really in the running. So it's not like they're looking to just clinch that last top 16 for their invite or anything.
Rio plays a switch to get the Seismitoad active, so that'll be a nice Quaking Punch KO. Make it more difficult for Liam to respond.
Oh yeah, taking a prize and putting him under Quaking Punch pressure.
Yep. So unfortunately, Liam won't really be able to knock out the Seismitoad with a Leafeon in one hit. Especially under Train Lock.
Yeah, he can with the DCE, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, he doesn't. He just attaches and passes, but... it is an option.
Or, no, it still can't one-shot it. Because it's only 20 times the opponent's Pokemon. Oh, to Olive. No, it still doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry. I was under the impression that it was everyone's Pokemon. You're right. It's only going to do 80 after the weakness. Sorry. There's a Versus Seeker for the Colress. This game definitely going more in Rio's favor. Besides that, Seismitoad, he's not really... doesn't have much going on, but the Seismitoad has proven to be a pretty big game versus Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liam with one card in hand, it looks like. No ability to Silver Bangle, Ultra Ball, Battle Compress. It's a tough spot.
Yeah, Seismitoad is pretty rough. Even with Leafeon.
There's a Verbank.
And Liam promotes his Jirachi. Has basically nothing on board.
I think if you're Liam, you just leave the Jirachi up there. If it gets knocked out, which it doesn't look like is very likely to happen, but if it got knocked out, Rio goes to 2 prizes anyway. And I think you may as well get him to a low number of prizes as long as it's not 1, just to be able to end more efficiently. Or sorry, end more efficiently.
What is happening? All
So
right.
that was for 80 damage?
Yeah. I gotta say I pretty thoroughly disagree with that play, but he doesn't have anything in his hand, so...
I mean, I just kind of feel like what else is he supposed to do?
Right.
Like he may as well hope that Rio can't respond.
I think I would have taken the 1 extra turn to draw another card, but it's looking pretty bleak for Liam either way.
I mean, if a muscle band hits here from Rio, allowing the Sagittar to knock out the Flareon, I think Liam's probably less than 15% to win the game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, the Lysander's trump card. Sorry, I didn't even realize that was happening too. That's even devastating as it is. Darkness energy onto the Yveltal EX.
So that's getting big, and now Liam pretty much won't be able to respond to it this game.
So there's a Juniper.
Nice.
Off the top for Liam.
Fortunately, there's really no way for him to get that 20 more damage into the discard pile.
He's gonna survive one more turn.
Yep. Oh, he played trump card?
Rio played trump card last turn.
Gotcha.
Liam just played Juniper. But that training center is gonna let that Flareon live for one more turn unless there's a muscle band coming down.
Yep.
Rio's still taking time to consider his options, which I kind of don't like here. I think when you know that time can be an issue and you're definitely in the driver's seat of this game, you need to try and play as quickly as possible to get to a game 3 as soon as possible. It's still going to be a long time, but there is a possibility that if Liam can pull some... We're showing a hand of 3 Junipers. There is a possibility that if Liam can start mounting an offense, he can just kind of grind through this next 20 minutes or whatever, 15 is left in the round, and win 1-0. We've certainly seen stranger things happen.
There's also a possibility of the Flareon just being KO'd by Yveltal this turn if Rio can find a switch card.
Yeah, he already attached to that Yveltal, so this switch will be the only thing that can do it.
It looks like he's just probably going to Quaking Punch. I have to assume he would play whatever cards for the KO. Yep.
Yep, so there's the draw step from Liam now. Liam with 7 cards in his hand. To Rio's 5 does have the ability to try and mount a comeback here. There's a Juniper. Getting rid of just 1 Pokemon in that Audino.
Yeah, so Audino with an energy on it.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So that... Yes, so okay, that's the correct amount of damage.
If you were Liam, would you just scoop here to try to at least win the game 3?
I don't think so, because I don't think you can actually win a game 3 anyway. I haven't been keeping track of time, so maybe there's more time, but like, you know, Rio's only taking 1 prize every time.
Yeah.
So there is a situation where you can just kind of promote a beefy basic, retreat it a bunch, and kind of just like stall out league. Not in the cheating sense, but just kind of make the game go long and win the game 1-0. Because I think that if you swoop here, I think it's still pretty unlikely that game 3 finishes. It's going to be an interesting situation, though, if the game does end in a draw, because, like I said, a draw is about as good of a loss for these two players, and asking for concessions is now illegal in the floor rules.
They just have to communicate with their eyes.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I assume that the way this would end, especially as Liam and Rio don't know each other, is that it would end just in a draw with both players hoping to make top 16 or top 32.
It's lots of winks and nudges.
Yeah, nothing else you can really do, I don't think, at that point. I think if, you were two close friends and one was close to his invite or something like that was happening, but hope that you can both 4-1-2 into a nice top 16 slot.
Just has no attackers on board anymore.
I think you're thinking about Audino's hip bump attack. If Liam can only draw one more energy, he'll do 30, and then he will prevent the Quaking Punch from happening. If that, I guess he'll actually get knocked out.
Secret OP.
So he just needs hip bump.
That prevents it from happening too, KOing this Isotoad.
Yeah, I think he'll be knocked out, so it doesn't matter. Just needs the energy. I missed what that was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Muscle band. And Spiking Punch for 50.
Yeah, Lynn's going to go ahead and scoop it up, so he is not taking my advice. He does know the deck much more than I do. He's played 400 games with it, so I assume that he knows what's going on. So we'll see. I mean, we still... My only judge of time is how many players are left playing. I'd say there's probably slightly more than half still playing their game, so... We'll have to see what happens as these players move into Game 3. Both players shuffling up. Once again, if you want to take a look at the pairings from this round, they're all up at twitter.com/OTBPokemon. So if you have any other friends in the tournament or wondering about something else. So it looks like I tweeted the round 5 pairings 54 minutes ago. Probably about 10 minutes before the round started, so it's looking pretty bad. I think, obviously, these players don't know how much time is left. There's no clock being displayed here. But... Oh, I think they're just
they're just...
Yeah, I think he just said. I think they're
hands.
just going for it. I didn't hear time get called, but it might just... Wait. Okay, what's happening?
Maybe they're just Spirit of the Gaming. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. They're just doing the old game... In between Game 2 and 3
The
handshake.
old
Okay.
stall for no reason.
So there should be some time, but some amount of between 30 seconds and 10 minutes left in this match.
Maybe he'll donk and execute. How about that?
Could be. Man, that happened in the finals of Portland Regionals. The game just ended, and we didn't know what was going on, and then it happened that time was called, but they didn't announce it, obviously, because it was only the finals going on. And Jacob won. It was really anticlimactic. Sam Chen and I were doing commentary and sitting there and trying to figure out what Jacob could do, and it turns out he just had game the entire turn.
And Rio takes the mulligan.
The second one as well? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this just kind of isn't good for either player. It's wasting more and more time.
Yeah, they're basically just going to be hoping the other one has one basic and no cards.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know which deck is actually more explosive. I guess Yveltal has a better chance of just turn 1 Dark, turn 2 DCE, Muscle Band, Laser Verbank. That's a third mulligan there. But Liam also has the opportunity to go EV attach battle compressor pass, you know, like
Right.
as we've seen in both of these games, neither deck has really done that, and neither deck has really been able to win a 5-minute game, but anything's possible. And
Liam has the Eevee.
starts with an upside down Eevee. As opposed to a non-EX Yveltal. There's a town map. Oh, Rio forgot to put out his prizes. Oh, he messed up the swirl this time. Oh, no, he didn't. He did it right. What? How is that possible? He did it with his discard pile earlier,
This
too.
kid's a wizard. Oh, well.
Alright, battle compressor, baby.
I'm not sure I would have taken that evolution. The Vaporeon has fairly low damage output. They might just be overestimating the time they have left. I don't know.
Yeah.
Liam grabs an N with Jirachi. Get rid of all those.
Hey, Pokemon players, that is.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so I assume
It is possible for Liam to win here if Rio has no other basics.
I don't think they would just one attack though. Or I guess he has two
Oh,
attacks.
yeah, that's true.
Oh, so he only has one. Yeah, he gets turn 2.
He does only have one attack. That's not enough.
Yeah, so it looks like this game is just gonna end in a draw, but they will play it out just to see.
They may play for a winner here.
It's kind of a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah,
that's
see.
fair. I think that's a totally fair kind of. I've seen a lot of matches where it's come down to like, okay, time has been called, but let's see. Like, I had this in my hand. Can you
Right.
respond? No. Okay, I would have taken 2 prizes. And my next 2 cards are Junipers. Like,
Yeah.
okay. And kind of just an understanding. Obviously, I would never expect anyone to do that if they didn't want to, but it is a fairly fair way to determine a winner. I think it becomes harder when you consider things like ends and how much resetting Pokemon does,
Yeah.
but nothing in the rules about it. You know, that's just a way to determine a more fair winner, especially in a situation like this. Liam randomly
He does have
deciding.
a huge discard pile now, so Flareon can possibly KO.
That's true, that's
the
true.
Yveltal next turn.
Liam also doing the old Game 3 switch to playing my battle compressor cards face down. Sort of fake out.
And we'll see if Rio has another basic. Some kind of misunderstanding, looks like.
So Rio will be turn 1.
Yep. And another basic. Game over.
Yeah, not exactly the turn that Liam was hoping for. Rio playing an N.
Yep.
You know, I haven't played many tournaments since the new time and new time limit was announced and the new time rules were announced. Been busy streaming all of them, but I have to say that I mean, I'm not going to beat the dead horse and say the time should be extended. It definitely should, but I also definitely like the +3 turns, and I think that it would, if the cards were designed to finish the games a little bit faster, it'd be totally fair. I played in a time, as did you, where whoever's turn it was when time was called, the game just ended
Yep.
immediately. which was just led to a lot more shady behavior at times, was a lot more unfair.
Yeah, when it came down to the end of the game, people would just kind of sit there.
Yeah, and especially like
hope
if
it ended on the correct turn.
If you're a player who doesn't know what they're doing in a situation versus a player who does, and you see them, you know, I'm not going to accuse anyone of cheating, but just kind of playing their turn very deliberately. Like, it just is a huge feel bad when you're, oh, time's almost called, okay, I got to finish the game, you know what I mean? Like,
especially if you can, like, see a path to victory or whatever.
Yeah. There's the float stone.
He actually is able to get this KO.
Yeah, there's the KO off the. There's the KO. Going in to turn 3 now. So there is a good chance that Rio will just concede here, saying, okay, look at your board, look at mine. I don't imagine that will happen, but I think that's the reason why Liam kept playing.
Yeah.
Liam tries to extend the hand
BMing
and gets no cert into the end. Alright, so if Rio drops Anti-Raikou Legend.
Alright, here we go. It'll KO two Pokemon.
Yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be a draw. I'll go and talk to the players and see if there's a kind of a concession or anything happening there, just so we can have accurate standings. But yeah, that was for once we didn't stream Seismitoad, and we saw what happened. So.
Yep, and now we're going straight back to Seismitoad. Yeah.
Pretty interesting deck from Liam, though. I really like the deck. I think it's good and fun and cool. It doesn't appear to be getting the job done for him today, but it's not like he's 0-4ing either. So I'm going to go talk to them, and we'll be right back.